Okay, guys, welcome all. One morning, and this is Ibrahim from Trident Infosol. Uh, Along with me, our team, our total Trident Infosol team with Rams. We are a part of this session, and with me, my manager, Mr. Manjunath, and my marketing team, Mr. Praveen and Ms. Kavita, and my team lead, Mr. Sindhil, all have joined actually in this. And the topic today we are going to see is one which is very much required for every sort of industries and every sort of industries and every sort of projects what you do, right? It can you can be in any domain. I think so. Totally 70 to 80 people have joined today. That's great, and I'm very much happy for that. And I could see that most of the guys have joined from many different sort of industries. So here is the LCC, life cycle costing, which will be applicable for any sort of industries. It can be food industry also. It can be manufacturing industry. It can be railway. It can be aerospace. It can be anything. So today we will be seeing how sustainable LCC is effectively done. That is what our topic is today. Okay. So today what we are going to see, what we are going to learn, something we are going to learn today, right? Yes, we are going to learn something on LCC part. So during this quarantine time, I think so this would be very much good initiative. So we are going to give a small brief about this session. It would be very much helpful for you too. So yes, first I'll talk about our company, because since we are promoting LCC to you guys, you wanted to know who is Trident and from where the software is launched. And what is this LCC? What is this LCC means? Because most of you guys would have been would know what is LCC, but some of them may be quite new to it, right? So to the unfamiliar guy, I can just give a small intro about it. What is LCC? And when taking any action, right? So when we are performing something, when you are performing something, there will be some failures or issues that will happen. It can be any sort of thing. There will be something. So we have to talk about it initially. Then only we have to start with the project. Anything we start first, we have to see the advantages, disadvantages. Then we have to start proceeding with it. So only we have spoke directly on the third point about factors affecting the LCC. What are the factors? What are all the difficulties I will face in the market or in the project or in the organization when we are considering LCC as a part? So that we'll talk about. Then a few example about it. So how to solve it? What are all the problems available in our industry? And we are taking few example of it and how we are solving that with respect to the LCC. That is what we are example we'll see to it. Then after seeing the example, now we'll get a clear picture of what are the factors that affects and what are the examples that we have. Then we'll jump into the product lifecycle phase. So how the product lifecycle is being a part of LCC, and what are all the procedures and decisions and processes are involved in this, that we will see in the flow. So like for example, like a project cycle, tool view, reports, dashboards, what are all the other things available in our software, that we will show you with respect to the LCC. And while completing this session, I think so you will get some idea on how to start a project, or how to categorize, how to collect the data, what are all the parameters required to complete to start a project and complete a project. And then you get a final dashboard saying that this would be the overall cost of my project, and this would that there are so many breakups in my projects. I have we will be exploring all those breakups, and we will see everything in a line by line session. So then we have even ALD have more solutions with us. Actually, they have more solutions like reliability software, Fracas software. So we have other two modules also. We'll see about it, and how these are getting interrelated, or how it is getting collaborated, like Ramsey and FiveWeb, how it is getting collaborated. We'll see about it. And then the features and the benefits, like what is the features and what are the benefits about this using Ramsey, FiveWeb, and DLCC as a single line from a same OEM. And we'll talk few about the FiveWeb. I just wanted to give some flavor about FiveWeb, how it looks like, and what is the usage of it, and how it is impacting on DLCC and Rams. Okay. Yeah. So to talk about ALD started its operation in 2000, and its headquarters is in Bangalore, and we have the corporate office in Delhi. We have around 6 channel in which operates in India actually. So like Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, and now it's in Ahmedabad too. So any guys who works in the particular location, yes, you can do contact us. We will give the contact IDs at contact mail ID and the numbers at the last of this slide. And we do have our manufacturing and integration facility in Bangalore. So we do support manufacturing in this, and we have the logistics office in Singapore, and more than 230 employees are getting work. I mean, more than 70% of people are engineers in our factory. So we have software sales and support. We have manufacturing in the process. We have design process. We have integration facility. So almost more than 70% of people are engineers in this. And we majorly focus on defense and aerospace, and even we work for non-defense industries, and we also work for commercial products, and also industrial products and medical equipments too. And to talk about the ALD, which is the OEM of this LCC part and FiberWeb and RAM Commander, it started its operation in 1984. But before that, there was a college called ALD College, where they educate the PhDs for the reliability guys. And it's headquartered in Tel Aviv, and they have the subsidy in USA also. And we are Trident Infosol are the sole distributor in India currently. And to visit our website, we have www.tridentinfosol.com, and we have aldservices.com and aldsoftware.com. Yeah. So yes, we'll start with the session now. What is LCC, or design lifecycle cost? LCC is nothing but lifecycle costing or design lifecycle costing. For a layman to understand what is LCC is nothing but what is for analyzing a product from a raw material cost to end product delivery cost. So for how much I have purchased and for how much I have sold it till the end, what I have sold it. This is what the overall cost would be like. But in general, do we think like only the raw material cost and the end process cost is the actual project cost? No. There are many decisions and procedures that are involved to complete a full LCC part. There are other major parts that are getting interfered between the raw material cost to the end product cost. So we will see what are those process and procedures in the further slides. So before seeing what are all the steps in between this raw material to the end product cost, we will see what are the factors that affects. So factors affecting this LCC, overall LCC I'm talking about, not only this intermediate effects or intermediate processes. For the overall LCC, there should be some problems, right? Some issues. So we have to focus on that, right? Also, before we start for it. Even when we talk about a reliability software also, or a RAMS concept also, what we do is before we start any design, we used to do FMEA, failure mode effect analysis, which means that before I start a design, I wanted to know what are the failures that would happen in my design, so that when I design it, I will overcome it, and then I will proceed further with the design, and at last I will try to reduce my failures in my design. That is what the main agenda would be when we are processing a design. In the same factor, in the same way, in the LCC also, no, we will just see what are the difficulties in marketing our product, or what are the things that affects my LCC cycle, that we'll see to it. First is actually a technological change. What happens is maybe in I am working in a company for 2014 to 2018, and I have purchased something in 2018 end, and maybe in 2019 there was a new technology implemented. When I have purchased some new component or a system in 2018, that was an old one. Now suddenly it has in 2019 some new thing has come up, which is more efficient, more reliable. So what happens is, due to this technological change, no, we are going back ahead. Actually, we are not being more advanced. For example, we can see a live scenario itself, right? Like we have BS4 and BS6. Obviously, we are starting from BS3 to we came to BS4. Directly from BS4 to directly now we are coming to BS6. So within a year or couple, we are just jumping into a technology to other technology. Right? So that is what the technological change that we get here. And market acceptance, same. Like when I market it, no, when there is a old technology, when I have manufactured some old technology is nothing but a month back or a year back. I have just manufactured it, but since a new product has come with a new reliable and efficient and good technology, I will not be able to market it. I will find difficult in marketing my product. Somehow we have to sell it because we have made it, right? So we have to see what are the difficulties in that. And competitors entry, multiple competitors will be there. So even though we make a good technology and new technology, new arrivals and new protos, everything whatever we have made, everything is very new, damn new, but there will be multiple competitors. That will be with respect to the competition, I mean with competitive prices. It can be a competitive technology, and it can be on servicing part. It can be anything like warranty, guarantee, whatever they provide. There will be multiple competitors into that, so we have to think about that also, right? Yes. And once we market it, sure, there will be some risk. We have to bear it. So bearing the risk, because the mass production we make, suddenly there is a technological change, I'm not able to market it, sure there will be a risk. How to manage those things and all that we'll see. And also government policy. So day by day government policies are getting changed. We had BS4, now it has come to BS6. Sudden change. Now there is a big conflict in this automotive industry. So this government policy continuously changes, that also affects our market placement of a product. And not only that, looking only on the startup cost, cash flow, and profit and loss. So I invest on a product and I see whether the product is going out or not out of my industry, and seeing only the profit and loss. Only is this thing a complete LCC covers? No, there are other factors also involved in it, between this startup cost, cash flow, and profit and loss. And focus mainly on the manufacturing industry. Most of the people think that manufacturing is the huge amount of investment that they make in their process. Not so. There are many other factors that are involved in the cash flow. Actually, there are so many other where you have to invest more money than the manufacturing. Manufacturing cost would be around only 60 rupees or 70 rupees, wherein the servicing will be around 180 rupees or 300 rupees also. That doubles the time of the manufacturing cost. That depends. That we have to check to it. And then pre and post manufacturing are treated as a expense cost. So that is not so. Even pre and post manufacturing is not only the expense cost. Okay. So now understanding the concept, LCC concept and its flow, we'll see step by step what is happening. Now we'll talk about an example. So we have to understand the LCC concept. So before understanding LCC, so for making that LCC concept to understand, we'll take some example. So here I'm working in a company, and I want some light to be purchased for my industry or for my office, and that has to work for 10,000 hours. That is what my target is. My target is to achieve 10,000 hours. And now I have two possibilities in the market. I am getting 100 watt incandescent bulb and 25 watt fluorescent bulb. And now we have to see whether 25 watts is fine or 100 watts is fine, or I have to switch for which particular bulb I have to go for. Now the task for the LCC engineer to calculate the LCC of both the alternatives and decide which one is best for us, whether the incandescent bulb or the fluorescent bulb. So we have to think about it. So generally, yes, we used to know that the decision making is very much complicated and it's very risky too. Here we are categorizing it into two things. One is actually initial cost, and the second is actually operational maintenance cost. So what is initial cost? So now we'll talk about the incandescent bulb, of the initial cost of the incandescent bulb. The cost of one bulb is actually 35 rupees. Generally in a market, we used to get an incandescent bulb of 100 watts for 35 rupees. And the life of that particular bulb, what the manufacturer says is 1,000 hours. But what I want is 10,000 hours. So to cover the 10,000 hours, I need to purchase 10 numbers of incandescent bulb, which means that one bulb is 35 rupees and 10 bulb is nothing but 350 rupees. For 10,000 hours, I'll cover with the 10 bulbs. So my price is 350. Quite cool. I'm okay to spend with 350 rupees for 35. I mean per bulb with 35 rupees as a cost, and for 10 bulb 350 rupees. Fine. Now, what is the operational maintenance cost for this incandescent bulb? You see, I have to run it. If I want to attain 1 kilowatt of this, right, I have to spend 10 hours. So because it is 1 kilowatt, nothing but 1,000 watts, and the bulb watt is actually 100. No, so 100 hours I have to run continuously operate to attain 1 kilowatt of power. that much kilowatt is required. So now the kilowatt of electricity, that kilowatt of electricity for 10,000 hours, because I have to run my continuously that particular bulb for 10,000 hours means I have to spend 1,000 kilowatts. So if I want to spend 1,000 kilowatts and keep 1 kilowatt cost as 160 rupees as a electricity bill, I have to spend 16,000 rupees on this operational maintenance cost, which means that the bulb has to operate continuously for 10 hours, and which means that I have to cover totally 10,000 hours, which is my actual expected life of this particular bulb. For 10 bulbs I am going to spend it, which means that I have to invest 16,000 rupees on my incandescent bulb. The initial cost is less, 35 rupees for one bulb, and for 350 rupees for the overall 10 bulb, and the total flow is 16,000 rupees. Now we'll talk about the fluorescent bulb. The cost of one bulb is actually 1,500 rupees. It's quite difficult, right? Because investing 35 rupees is very simple, but investing 1,500 rupees is, yes, it's a huge cost. But the advantage here is it can run for 10,000 hours. Yes, quite good, looking good, right? Because I want to invest on only one bulb. I don't want to invest on multiple bulbs. But even investing on multiple bulbs, I am spending only 350 rupees in incandescent bulb. But here I'm, even for spending one bulb also, I'm spending 1,500 rupees. But fine, I have it can run up to 10,000 hours. So here the total payment I do is, no, it is only 1,500 rupees overall. The payment of this light, the total payment of one bulb is, no, it is 1,500 rupees. This is for the initial cost. Then what is about the operational and maintenance cost? So operational maintenance cost for this is, right, for it is a 25 kilowatt bulb. I have to run it for 1 kilowatt. I want to see how for 1 kilowatt how much hours it has to run. It is just 40 hours. So if it is 40 hours for this particular 10,000 hours to attain for me, right, I have to spend 250 kilowatts only, because it is a 25 watts bulb. So I have to spend 250 kilowatts, which means that it is 4,000 rupees if I calculate 1 kilowatt as a 160 rupees. Same example, and it's quite cool, right? So when we compare this, both the thing, initial cost and the operational maintenance cost, no, for both the bulb, incandescent bulb and the fluorescent bulb, initially I am paying 350 rupees. Operational maintenance cost is 16,000 rupees, and overall LCC is 16,350 rupees for incandescent bulb. But when you think about a fluorescent bulb, I am spending only 5,500 rupees for it. So this is what LCC means. LCC is equal to initial cost plus operational maintenance cost. Is it so? No, we will see what actual LCC is. This is an example for it. Okay. So analysis result is incandescent bulb has very good life with respect to, fluorescent bulb has very good life when compared to the incandescent bulb. And you can see up to 10,850 rupees is very less compared to it. So hence a good economist would prefer a compact this one fluorescent bulb in this company for a long-term run with a very less operational maintenance cost. So here I think so you could get a comparable view, right, from this incandescent bulb to the fluorescent bulb. Yeah. So now we'll jump into the concept. What is LCC means? So every customer requires their product to be functional, reliable, safe, and they have to maintain it very easily. So here we have a product called DLCC, which means that design life cycle costing, which is by ALD. ALD has designed it, this particular software, and it is an interactive package for getting a better understanding and estimating your product from your raw material cost to end product, with the multiple sub informations in between these things. And it can give you a very good project planning also. So generally LCC means LCC and the total ownership cost both combines the cost of acquisition plus cost of ownership is equal to LCC. That is what here. So initially we saw that initial cost plus the operational maintenance cost is equal to LCC, but it is a part of LCC. But actually if you see that what is this cost acquisition, what is this cost ownership, then it says the overall LCC. It talks about the overall LCC. We will see about this cost acquisition and cost ownership in the further slides. Then you will come to understand what is this initial cost, what is this operational maintenance cost, what are the intermediate segments that are available from the raw material cost to the end product cost. Okay. So your product life cycle. So generally when I design or when I manufacture or when I have a proto to do something in R&D sector or any or any form of manufacturing sector or any form of industry, we have some certain flow to follow. So here we have that flow. This is the life cycle cost flow, where we have a concept and exploration. That is, what is my concept? What am I going to design? What I'm going to define? How many phases are there? So how much money I have to invest on that particular concept? Because concept can be just paperwork, but I have to invest some money on that, right? Even if it is a computerized work, also I have to invest some money. If it is a paperwork, also I have to invest some money. And then once the concept is designed, I have to do something on demonstration and validate my concept. So for that, I have to invest some money. Again, once the validation is done, once the demonstration is successful, I have to do the manufacturing. I have to do the manufacturing of it. I have to do the engineering work for it. This all is called the R&D cost, research and development cost. So this product is done. Now we are going to invest something on it, right? So we are going to do the production. We are going to deploy the phase. Deploy the product what we are going to make. So that is what the investment cost is. That is the second phase of it. And third phase is once you have developed, manufactured it, design is completed, design is approved. Concept is done, concept is approved. Then the design is approved, and then you have come for the manufacturing. The manufacturing is done, and the product is launched, and the product is now with the customer. During this phase, there is other big challenge for us is nothing but operational support cost, because the best support we give is what the multiple iterations of orders that we used to get. And not only that, much reliable, as we saw in the earlier slide. The customer wants a reliable product, effective product, and efficient product, and it should be easy maintenance product also. So this is what the main phase is, and this also we have to take into consideration. And then comes to the disposal cost. Disposal cost comes a bi-directional way. Like if you want to dispose the product after 10 or 15 years, whatever the manufacturer has given you the life of the product, after that, if you want to again reuse it, restore that particular product, investing on that is useful for you. After investment on the repairing of that particular system, will it give some better output or better outcome in terms of money for me? Yes, I can reuse it. If not, I will dispose it. Disposing can give me some lump sum amount of money where I can purchase a new one, and again I can start the production. So it depends on the industry, whatever, however they want to use this disposable phase. So this is what the life cycle costing phases are: R&D, investment, support, and disposable. Okay, so this we call it as with respect to the standard IEC 300-2 standard. We have 6 major life cycles in that. That is concept and design phase, design and development phase, manufacturing phase, installation phase, operation and maintenance phase, and disposable phase. So this all covers the major 6 life cycle phases. So what are the major so what is the main decision in making this LCC? So we have to identify. Now we saw this all phases, right? So during the operation of this particular 6 phases, we may have some operability issues, or I may get some serviceability issues. We have to see about all those things. So we will be seeing on the problem definition, like what is the scope of definition, what is the evaluation criteria, is it affordable or not affordable, is it risk level is high or less, what are the problems involved in it, like how we saw it in the incandescent bulb and the fluorescent bulb, right? Like what are the difficulties and these things now. So we have to talk about it. Second thing I just wanted to say in that, right, the example which we saw is a non-repairable system. Once the bulb is gone, that's it, we have to replace a new one. But we have to think about, since we are saying the operation and maintenance cost, it should be a repairable system. So when we talk about repairable system, there will be multiple issues involved in it. We have to categorize the issues. That is called the problem definition. Then cost element definition, like cost breakdown structure. So we saw in the earlier slide, like concept phase, which means that R&D, and then initial cost, initial investment, and the operation and maintenance, and then disposable. For everything, we have a categorization. For every engineering work, there should be some categorization of that. There are many categorization. For every categorization, we have to invest some money on it. That cost element definitions will be done inside the software. And then system modeling, how we have to model our system, like availability, checking the availability of the system, maintenance, and then production regularity, risk like hazard and warranty, and human error, whatever is happening in the system modeling, we have to see about it. And then data collection, collecting the data for doing the analysis, actual data preparation and estimation of data, whatever the parameters required to complete a full cycle. R&D means I have to know how many engineers are working, how many people are working in that, what are all the equipments I have used, and is that equipments are purchased or non-purchased, or it is for rented. Like all these parameters has to be collected. And when it comes to the manufacturing phase, in the manufacturing phase, we should have the machineries with us. If the machineries are not with us, we have to outsource it. If we are outsourcing it, what is the cost involved in it? And even likewise, multiple things are there in that, right? So we have to collect those informations. Then cost profiling, we have to do the cost profiling. Now we have collected the data, we know what about the, we know what is the problem, we know what is the cost breakdown structures, we know the system modeling, we know what is the data collection, we have collected all the data. Now we can do the cost profiling for this. So then during the evaluation phase, we can do the easy analysis, uncertainty analysis, sensitivity analysis, cost driven analysis, and we can take a better decision or best decision out of it. And most desirable alternatives, you may have multiple alternatives also with you. Manufacturer A or a vendor A gives you a product of 10 lakh, and vendor B gives you for 8 lakh, and vendor C gives you with 12 lakhs with 10 years of warranty. So multiple alternatives you should have with you to take a better decision. So all these things will club, and you get in the evaluation process that will be made as a dashboard or a report, that is called sensitivity analysis, uncertainty analysis. All these will be there. And once the evaluation is done, then yes, this can be done as a multiple iteration. Again, you can go again once you launch the product, and once you done every optimization, then you can do the iterations. Again, you can after the launch of the product, problems may come during the operation time. Then the operational maintenance activity will be there in that. And then what are the iterations, that those things we have to take care of it. So this is how the problem so this is how the decisions are to be made during the LCC phases. So earlier, as you said, in the incandescent bulb and the fluorescent bulb, we saw an example of a non-repairable system. Right now, we'll see about a repairable system. So we have taken an example of an aircraft. So here I have to design an aircraft and manufacture it, and then I have to transport it, and then I have to assemble it after transporting, and then I have to deliver to the particular customer, whoever is using it, and he will use it. After the usage, maybe 10 years or 15 years after, till he finds better output from this from the product that we launched, then he may think about dismantling or recycling it, or whatever he feels he can do it. This is an example of it. Now we'll see step by step on this, what actually it is. So for an aircraft parts, for every individual parts, there will be some cost. So you take about a tail or a wing or an engine or a dashboard. For everything, there is some price tag. Even the petrol or a diesel, even the oil, the fuel that you put for this flight also, that is also a investment for this, right? Even each and individual part is an investment, that is called an cost acquisition. So LCC is equal to cost acquisition. That is what this cost acquisition is. And then not only this, after the cost involvement, we have other process also inside it. Once you manufacture it, you have to transport it, right? Whether it is in a roadway, airway, marine way, or by a subscription way. If it is the product is very huge or it is overweight, then I have to go for a lorry. Then what is the price for it? What is the distance from where you are manufacturing it and where you are going to deliver it, and what is the fuel cost involved in it? And for every individual ton, there will be a cost will be multiplied. And if it is a small product, we can take it in a small tempos or something. If it is a very huge one, we have to take with the lorries. Or if it is very much a fast deliverable product, then we have to take in the air. If it is very huge product, then we have to go in a marine. So likewise, even the transportation cost is getting involved in it. Then once the transportation is done for a product, then we will be manufacturing it, right? So we have to, when we are we have to assemble it. So during the assembling thing, we may require the manpower, we may require the utensils or the materials to assemble these things. So all the material should be available with you, and the manpower should be available with you. Then only you can do the assembling process. Then operating cost. So once I assembled it, I delivered the product to the customer, and the customer has to operate the system, right? So for that, he has to think about the fuel cost, the cabin crew cost, and the pilot cost, or and the service cost, and the flying time, and the food they are providing to the customers who travel. And all this thing is called as cost of ownership. So including now cost of acquisition is what we have invested money for making that particular aircraft, and the cost of ownership is nothing but what a person who purchased it, or he is going to invest something on that product. This is what a LCC means. LCC is equal to cost of acquisition plus cost of ownership. Okay, so the LCC is equal to parts, aircraft parts and the individual parts, transportation cost, assembly cost, and the operating cost. This all is equal to, which makes a combination of this makes a LCC. Okay, so now who are for using this DLCC, or who is a key person for this? Managers can use this. A good decision makers who is going to take this, they can do it. Engineer personnel, they can do it. An ILS, a logistics person, can use this software, and other staffs who are involved in the system acquisition, proposal writing, a management guy, a development process guy, a production guy, throughout life cycle process, like how I said about this raw material cost to the end product cost. This but who is involved in this process, these all people can use this particular software. Okay, so when we said now we'll come back to the concept again. So when I said about this cost breakdown, I mean, what are all the process? As I said, the concept phase, initial investment cost, manufacturing cost, and the operational maintenance cost and disposable cost. For all these things, we have certain breakup structures, right? I have said so many things are there intermediately. What are those intermediates? Labors are required to do some operation. Then labors are required. Materials to infrastructure to manufacture it. We have to make an infrastructure of it. So we have to make a material to manufacture, and we want the production support like quality team or tooling support or engineering support. We want all these people to be involved, and engineering team. For engineering team, for mechanical design, electrical design, configuration control, system engineering. So these people are mainly required, and tooling, the tool fixtures like assembly people, and other development and flight and testing and sales and support and marketing. These all people will be there. So this is what the CBS mainly we talk about, this cost breakdown structure in LCC process. This all the individual or the internal structures. Though these people are the contribution for the overall LCC part. So that we name it as actually cost breakdown structure here. So how do we build a project life cycle? So build a CBS. So likewise, what are all the process involved in doing the or manufacturing a product? Designing, manufacturing of everything is there as a part of it. So I have to build a cost breakdown structure for it, and I have to think about the alternatives also, because when I start a manufacturing, I should have all the materials available with me. When I should have a materials available with me, I should have multiple alternatives, vendor A, vendor B, vendor C, vendor D, and who is giving a very good product, reliable product, and with respect to the guarantee and warranty, we have to go with that particular alternative. So we should have all the feasible alternatives, and the initial data predefined for the time period, like together with an optional inflation factor throughout the life cycle. Like what all the initial data that are required with us, like globally, what are the things required for us, everything should be prepared, and calculate the total LCC for all the parts of the system for each alternatives and each period of the life cycle. So for every sections of it, we have to categorize it. Alternative parts should be there. Global variables has to be defined. Global variables will be there as a part of it. I will explain what is this global variables and all. And perform sensitivity analysis. So you have to perform the sensitivity analysis for this to identify who is a better alternative, whether by using this particular vendor, whether I am getting a better output in terms of product, in terms of cost. Both the things we can do it. So we can also compare it with the global variable also. So global variable, I will say in the next slide, and we have to generate a report. So this is what the project lifecycle flow will come in. So tool looks like this. You can see here we have a libraries in the right hand corner. Sorry, in the left hand corner you can see libraries. We have certain designed inbuilt libraries available with us. We can also modify that libraries, and then we have models. Models we like cost breakdown structure, like what are the cost we are going to I mean what are the segments that we are going to involve in the full LCC. All these things we call it as a cost breakdown structure that is available in the models. And the product tree, like how our product is getting installed in the system. So all this product will be categorized as a hierarchy tree, and for that, what all the parameters are required, that will be available in the tool view. Okay. So DLCC structure, you can see here the CBS, which means that the cost breakdown structure, which we were talking about, because this is the main heart of the this particular software, because this will talk about the multiple contributions of the manpower, manufacturing cost, and other alternatives, everything into a segment wise, which we call it as a CBS, and this can be defined in a way called expression builder. You can see it here in this particular block. In this, you can see what is a repairable flaw, shop repairable, depot repairable, manufacturing free, TAT, distance cost. Likewise, in the tree parameters, how many hours are required to operate it, how many spare parts are required, what is the ownership cost of it. All these things will be here. What it makes is, making all these things, we can make a formula of it. For generalizing this formula, we have so many equations or supporting functions available with us. So we can make a build, we can build an expression or the formulas by using the cost breakdown structure, by using this expression builder tab. Okay. So this library consists of many things, like alternatives. As I said, many alternatives are available now. Like we have to see about the vendors who is providing a better price and better reliable product. We have to see for the alternatives that we can define it in our LCC flow. And then what is the period, like how many years we have to run and how many years the manufacturer has provided this particular life can run. So that also can be defined in terms of years, decades, month, and the life cycle phases. Likewise, we can define it. And then the global variables. I said I'll talk about the global variables, right? The global variables are nothing but dynamic charges that is getting that is getting a part of our project. For example, fuel cost, storage cost, labor cost. These are all not a static price. Day by day, it will get increased. Fuel price can't be same. Storage cost can be same, and the labor, maybe today a person can come for 15,000 rupees, and but tomorrow it can be a 20,000 rupees also. It depends. So labor cost is not a static one. So we have to consider even the global variable changes, the current market price of the raw materials that you are getting. That also we have to consider for a long-term perspective, because you start a project in 2018 and you complete manufacturing part in 2020. So there are 2 years of difference in this when you start a project and you're completing a project. So there may be multiple changes that are involved in it. So the major changes would be on this global variable part only, the fuel cost, storage cost, and labor cost only. So we have to think about those things, and then we have to proceed on that. So only we have this periods also. That second point, the period also is taken into the consideration. Then we have a tables like repairability flag. Tables and attributes are interlinked. Here we wanted to know the numerical value and attribute and the qualitative value. Nothing but whatever the cost we have made, right, or whatever the costing, the cost profiling, whatever we have made, we are making some categorization, like using this alternative is good or bad, is it effective or not effective. Likewise, we have to categorize it, right? So for that, we are making some template. That template can be defined in the attribute, and that attributes can be reflecting in the tables. That is what the attributes and tables will do. For example, I'm doing some repairable activity for my product. Whether I'm doing it in the manufacturing stage, in the manufacturer phase, or in the organizational phase, or in a supplier phase, or in a depot phase, where I'm making it. And if this particular system is very critical, this even after investing huge amount on this, on the operational maintenance, this product is not giving such so good hands. So that has to be marked as red color. So that kind of attributes and this linking with the attributes to the table, no, that we can make it here. That is what the advantage of this table and attributes inside the library. So you can select whatever you require. You can define it. Okay. Then the suppliers, how many suppliers we have? Multiple suppliers we can make it, because alternatives we have. So when we have alternatives options, then sure we should have a multiple suppliers too. So we can have the multiple suppliers, because today I am using this, maybe 2005 I have used this particular supplier for manufacturing this, and 2020 that guy is not working in the industry. But when I see to that particular LCC process, we can come to know that how many suppliers we have involved with, and what is the price he has provided to us, and by using this product, how many years our system has run in the customer end. So all this thing, no, will give you a good flow. So this so only we are using this libraries, this software to get overall to for a long perspective. So even after 10-15 years also we can get to know what we have done on the earlier project, and we can freeze the suppliers and other things also. So now cost, computing the life cycle cost. So what are the things we are going to achieve is actually cost calculation, present value calculation, sensitivity analysis, and PBS, which we are product breakdown structure. Products, how we are breaking it, and how many suppliers, by suppliers. Who will be a best suitable supplier for our product. So these things can be computed by using the LCC. And reports, we have multiple reports inside the tool. Actually, you can see cost breakdown structure, and then by PBS cost breakdown structure with the product tree we can make it. We have sensitivity analysis, we have uncertainty analysis, and we can make it into a multiple formats also, whichever we like, HTML format, Excel format, whatever the format we can make it. And finally, what is the investment that we have made and how it looks like, the dashboard gives you a very good view or a flow or a satisfaction after completing a full project. So whether what is the R&D cost, what is the production and infrastructure cost, what is the acquisition cost, what is the ILS cost, what is the operational maintenance cost, what is the phase of cost. Likewise, I can see it by using the multiple alternatives, multiple suppliers, multiple vendors. Using this, what is my growth in the LCC, whether it is upgrading or it is downgrading. I can see that in the dashboard. And it is not mandatory that you have to use only your own currency. You can use any sort of currencies, because we may purchase some product from the outside India also, right? So we can use other country currencies also. Based on that, you can give the this particular dashboards. So now LCC is completed, and the LCC we have attained the reports, we have seen the dashboards, and we have involved many processes inside it, processes and procedures. Then we have completed the LCC. So now we have other softwares also in our software, in our principal, that is ALD, that is RAM Commander and FavoWeb. DLCC we have seen it, and FavoWeb also we have. So RAM Commander is nothing but a reliability software. It can see what is the life of your system or a subsystem or a component. Up to that level we can see to it. So we can interlink our LCC with RAM Commander, and we can and also we can collaborate our LCC with the FavoWeb also. So here because we know the price of the product, and by using the RAM Commander we know what is the life of the product also. We know what is the cost, and also we know what is the life. By using this we can interlink it. And the informations that we collect in the Excel format or other format, that can be used for the RAM Commander also, for doing the reliability analysis, maintainability analysis, spare part analysis, and failure mode analysis, or effective maintenance analysis. Any sort of analysis in the RAM Commander, you can use the complete flow in it, and the same thing can be taken or integrated to the DLCC. We can export that format, and that can be effectively used. You can see that here ALD has a multiple or bidirectional flow. From RAM Commander you can go to the FavoWeb, from FavoWeb you can communicate to RAM Commander, from DLCC you can talk to RAM Commander, and RAM Commander can talk to DLCC. So there is a good flow in this particular modules that are available with them. So this is how the collaboration happens. So after once my product is available with me, I know what are all the components available with me, what are all the subsystems and system available with me. So during that phase, I will predict the life of my system, subsystem, and the component. It can run for 5 years or 10 years, and spare parts should be available with the customer for attaining 99% of availability. All these things will be categorized and defined. So that component, subsystem, and the system, all this particular flow can be integrated or translated or transferred to DLCC. This is what we call it as PBS, product breakdown structure. How we have structured our system in for analyzing the prediction of the life, the life of the product. The same thing can be taken to DLCC to predict the cost, how much cost or how much money is going to get invested on this particular product. So that is what the DLCC and RAM Commander will talk about. Okay. Features are you can make it in multiple formats: text, Excel, MS Excel, MS Access, HTML format. It can import in any way. Also, it can export in these particular ways. It can take it in a PDF, text, Excel formats, and we get a best sensitivity analysis, present value calculation, reports and multiple graphs, and cost element analysis, and a very good compact project and organized way of viewing it. This is very much useful for us, and you can split it actually. The R&D cost, what is a separate cost? Yes, I can see to it. What is the manufacturing cost? Yes, I can see to it. Likewise, I can split it. And multiple constant. If there is any constant values that is getting manipulated to any of these system or a subsystem, we can make it. Dynamic of value also we can make it. Constant values also we can make it. Finally, we see a very better dashboards in this. Okay. And benefits of using this Ramsey, LCC, and FiberWeb. So here what happens is we are estimating a product availability, production time. So this one, production availability, production time with respect to demand. On demand, we make all these things, right? Yes, and reduce the operation and maintenance cost, because we have already found what is the cost of this particular product in LCC, and we know what is the life of this particular product in RAMS. So we know what is the operation and maintenance cost now. So based on that, we can reduce it, right? And accurate forecast on equipments we're using the LCC that reflects on age, duty cycle, etc. So I know from the vendor says that 5 years it can run, and my prediction from RAM Commander also says that it can run for 5 years. So I can come to a conclusion that it can run very clearly for. I can say that that has the age of 5 years, and continuously if it runs, it can run for 3 years. On the duty cycle way, if it runs, it can run for 10 years too. And comparison between the old supplier and the new supplier, as we talked about in that, right? The alternatives, multiple alternatives, like who is the one supplier, who is the second supplier. Based on that, what is the MTBF value, what we have predicted by using the RAM Commander, what vendor have said. So all these things we can make it in a single flow and identify which is the best out of it. And saving a direct and indirect cost by proper handling and investigating of problem, followed by a appropriate corrective actions. So in FiberWeb, what it does is actually whatever the manufactured product that has been launched in the industry, so there multiple times it may fail. So from there we get the reporting saying that the product has failed in so and so hours. So we have to perform this particular operational and maintenance activity so that the system is running fine. So then we will come to the DLCC part and see whether whatever the operational maintenance that they have done, is it covered within the cost that the LCC guy have set, and whatever the activities that are performed to do that LCC cost within the LCC cost, is that procedure followed. That procedure has come from the Ramsey. Ramsey defines like what are the procedures you have to do to repair a system. So for repairing that system, we want to invest some money. That investment money is will be defined in the DLCC in operational maintenance cost. And then the FiberWeb guy, the person who is sitting on site, he will take all this parameter into consideration and he will do it. This is what the Ramsey, LCC, and FiberWeb flow will be. And visibility of reliability performance problem. So we can clearly view that what is the actual reliability is and what is the predicted reliability is, and is it really happening there in the customer end or not. Based on that, we can improvise the design or redesign it, or we can, if the product is is performing as per the prediction, as per the analysis, then we can multiply our product and we can get a very good fame for the company. And decision support and initiation of continuous reliability improvement process. So as I said, multiple reliability improvement process we can become. And decision support like process design, spare part. What are the spare parts to be available with the customer end during the operation. There should not be any production stop during the process, so that it will reduce the availability of the system, so that we have to provide the spare part to the customer. Which are all the spare parts to be given? That can be taken from the RAM Commander analysis. We have a spare part optimization, and what is the cost of that particular spare part will be defined in LCC, that can be delivered to the our customer. Then optimization, we have frequency, cost, reliability, and availability optimization for preventive maintenance. That also will be taken care in RAM Commander as well as in the LCC. Okay. Then tracking the top 10 failures. So we can easily identify what are the top 10 failures in past years and the decades. FiberWeb can list out it. So for 10 years we have we have run the system, out of which this particular 10 components or 15 components are continuously getting failed. So this is what the very much critical component in using this particular these are all the components that is affecting the system reliability. So that can be taken care into the redesigning process, and you can see what is the investment that we have to make in DLCC and implement that, and you can again launch it in the new design. So that is what this particular flow will talk about. And customer support the customer and win the competitors. So this how we can win the competitors. We can be L1 in the market, and we can provide a very good, better, best output product in the market. And any technological change also, yes, that has to be bearable. Yeah, because we spoke about the risk bearing capacity also, right? Yes, the new technology changes. When we manufacture it, suddenly a new technology would have come. We have to quickly jump to the new technology and be L1 in the market. Okay. So since we spoke something about this FiberWeb intermediately, we'll see what is this FiberWeb means actually here. FiberWeb is nothing but a FRECAS, failure reporting and the corrective action system. So once we manufacture, once we predict the life of the system, and once we know what is the cost of the system, we prepare it, we manufacture it, we deliver to the customer. After delivering it to the customer, there may be multiple actions like failure reportings will be there, maintenance activities will be there, and continuous supporting activities will be happening there, right? So this has to be monitored. For monitoring this, there should be some online support or online web tool that is nothing but called FiberWeb. This FiberWeb will do all this activity. So here you can see that in the left hand side, sorry, in the right hand side, you can see I have a product tree, preventive maintenance and failure data. After my launch of the product, after my delivery of the product, what are the maintenance activity I have performed, what are all the failure data, what are the failures happened, and I have to take all the failure data to analyze it, why it has failed, what is the maintenance that they have performed, whether whatever the maintenance activity they have performed, is it correct or not, whether we have to optimize it or not. All these things can be done with respect to RAM Commander and FiberWeb. Okay. So here it is a best tracking tool for the reliability domain. Any information that has to be passed within the organization or the worldwide, FiberWeb can do it. You have multiple channels of your company within, all over the world in a globe, and your product is launched in multiple locations, and you wanted to know what is the actual scenario that is happening in the customer end, and they will be writing you the failures and other things. So it is a very good web tool to understand and all those things, and it is a complete web-based application. So it is a customizable software. You can define how you want to this software. It is a reporting software. So it is a reporting tool. How you want to report it, you can suggest us, and we can make you that particular we can customize the software for you. And there is no need of any client installation. It is complete a web-based tool, so there is no any client installation for this. You can use Chrome, MS Explorer, Firefox, Safari, whatever is that, you can use it. And FRECAS can be implemented and used extensively in automobile industry, military industry, aviation, and telecommunication industry, because these are all the industries where they used to monitor continuously their product. And it is customizable software, as I said, and based on the customer requirement, we can develop the software whichever is required. There are two different logins for this, admin login and the user login. So admin can control whoever can use this. Like supplier want to give what are all the user has to give what are all the failures that has happened in the field, and supplier can give what is the life of his product. Likewise, there will be multiple partitions in the FiberWeb domain or in a continuous LCC process, the life cycle, the PLCC, like product life cycle costing thing. So there you have multiple processes involved in it. So when you have multiple processes involved in that, multiple people are getting involved, which means that. So you can also integrate these people to FiberWeb, and they can say their suggestions, they can say their values, that these are, so this is what the output we can give you for the better reliable product. All this can be done by using the FiberWeb. So it is easily configurable, and it can connect by using the ERP and the corrective action system. Whatever the failures happening on the field, it can be easily communicated to the manufacturer, and it can give you multiple smart analysis data. Like what is the top 10 failures, and what is the unscheduled removal component in my system, and what is the effective maintenance that I have made, whether it is a corrective maintenance or preventive maintenance. With respect to the statistics, with a clear dashboard, Fiverr will provide you the results. So now I have all the failure data, bill of material, maintenance activity, scheduled removal information, and LCC details. What is the cost involved in doing all this operation? So all this I have. Along with that, I have inbuilt SAP, MS Access, PTC, and other data collection software with you. So then I can integrate these to the Fiverr Web. So when I integrate these to Fiverr Web, FRECAS, we call it as, we call it as Fiverr Web, and which means that it's a FRECAS concept. When you integrate or when you communicate all this to FRECAS, we will take that to the RAM commander to do the analytical calculation to say you or to advise you on how better effective way you can do this analysis, or how effective you can make the maintenance, and how can whether the redesign is required for the system or not. All these things can be done by using this flow. So FRECAS will help you in that. So this is what the continuous flow is about the Ramsey, LCC, and FRECAS. So now, thing is, if you have any queries, yes, you can ask me. I think so. Praveen, you can unmute the our customers. If so, they have the queries, they can ask one by one.